is ATN Global News. First, the headlines. 2024 budget is invalid. Analysts. CNG car explosion injures 3 persons. Reps calls for review of budgetary allocation. FG partners Cisco on digital security. UK probes Russian shadow fleet. Sports Minister hails Flamingos. Cardi B quits alcohol.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
And now the news in details. Analyst says the 2024 annual budget for Rivers State is invalid and void. Speaking of the Atlantic Television Network program Open Conversation, socio-political analyst Daniel Momo said the governor of Rivers State lacks jurisdiction to appeal to case he had already withdrawn.
The political solution initiated by the president, who at what point was this courted? Because the Court of Appeal clearly said something, that the governor and the Rivers State government lacks the jurisdiction to now come for an appeal when they have withdrawn their cases at the lower court. And that brings me back to the lower court. You see, clearly, does the Federal High Court has jurisdiction to entertain that matter in the first place? That matter has to deal with the river. It has nothing to do with INEC. INEC is not involved in that judgment. I will say, okay, there's a federal agencies that needed a federal court to entertain it. It is purely between the government of Rivers State, between the governor, between the House of Assembly and the budget. So at what point were they able to take that first judgment to the Court of Appeal? And so we must ask ourselves here, does truly the Federal High Court has that jurisdiction to first entertain that matter? I think those are some of the things that the Supreme Court will first deal with. But unfortunately, as we stand today, unfortunately, the budget of Rivers State 2024 is not like.
On his part, Chizinye Masila said the Martin Amewule faction of the Rivers State House of Assembly did not resign from the People's Democratic Party. Therefore, they remain members of PDP.
That should be saying, no, these people have left us is the PDP. Has gone to the court to say they are still our members, they have not left us. Because you see, the way I decamp from a political party as a non-assembly member, a non-government official, it's not the same thing they will. Because first they will have to resign from their own party before they cannot go. You know, one of the things that I'm not trying to look at it. One of the things that Wike is holding against PDP, you know, he's trying to defeat Wike. I'm not trying to defeat. Is the fact that upon being called, even though he wanted the minister, I'm saying it on him, he wanted the minister, but upon being called as minister to work with the FCT, to work with the Tinubu, Wike wrote the party.
This comes after the Martin Namehule faction of the River State House of Assembly declared the seat of the now Chief of Staff to the state government, Edison Ehi, and pro-Fubara Assembly Speaker Victor Okojumbo vacant, citing their prolonged absence from legislative. Away from that, Federal High Court in Abuja has adjourned a 2 billion naira fundamental rights enforcement suit filed by Mr. Lucky Okede, a former caretaker chairman, Southern Ijaw Local Government Area of Bayelsa State, till November 28th. Justice Binta Iyako adjourned the case following an oral application by Okede's counsel, Asmao Yanusa, to enable her respond to a counter-affidavit filed by Mimi Ayua, lawyer to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa. Okede, in the suit dated and filed on May 3rd by Mr. Femi Falana San, had sued the CDS Musa and Chief of Army Staff to Reed Labaja as first and second respondents, and the applicant is accusing the defendants of allegedly publishing his photograph among those wanted in connection to the killing of 17 soldiers in Okwama in Delta State. He prayed the courts to award a 2 billion naira in damages against the respondents for alleged violation of his rights to personal liberty and dignity, while the applicant also prayed the court to set aside his declaration and award the fine as compensation for damages suffered over the action of the Defense Headquarters, Abuja. Justice Yako, however, told the lawyer who represented the CDS, Mimi Ayua, and Yanusa that the issue is what the parties can sit down together to resolve amicably and adjourn the matter until November 28th for further mention, and also ordered that the second respondent be served with the hearing notice. In Delta State, the police command has arrested a POS operator for receiving the sum of 4 million naira from kidnappers. Police Public Relations Officer SP Bright Edafe, who disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, said the POS operator received just 40,000 naira as profit for the transaction. The police spokesman warned POS operators against getting themselves involved in such criminal transactions. Edafe said the POS operators should be wise in doing their businesses, adding that offenders will be arrested. As part of preparations toward the handing over of the incoming governor, Edo State and its governor, Edwin Obaseke, has said he will be holding a joint inauguration of transition committees on Friday. This is coming after the joint transition committees members to be inaugurated scheduled to take place at the John Odigie Onyegu Public Service Academy, the Edo State 2024 Transition Committee and the APC Transition Committee members, while the outgoing state governor Obaseke had last July constituted a 24-man member transition committee headed by the secretary to the state government, Victor Obiebe. The State Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Chris Nehekaye, who disclosed this at a press conference on Thursday in Benin City, also confirmed the state government's receipt of the 24-man list of the APC and its governor-elect transition committee, adding that the primary objective of the transition committee was to facilitate a smooth handing over of government. He, however, said the state government looks forward to the collaborative efforts of all members in ensuring a seamless transition, adding that the two committees are made up of 48 members with the state government and APC having 24 members each. Away from that, CNG-powered vehicle explosion at the Nipco filling station in Eduwawa, Benin, Edo State, has left 3 people severely injured, including a motorist who suffered eye injuries. An attendant at the station who requested anonymity said a woman's stomach was ripped open and another person's foot was amputated due to the blast, and the victims are receiving treatment at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital, Mbowo. Eyewitness said the explosion was traced to a cylinder that had been fabricated by a welder without proper approval, adding that the explosion occurred while vehicles were queuing to refill their cylinders at the station. However, the Public Relations Officer of UBTH, Joshua Weiler, in a statement on Twitter expressed sympathy for those injured, while the Presidential CNG initiative described as unfortunate the incident involving an illegally modified vehicle at a NIPCO CNG station in Aduwawa, Benin City. The PCNGI further explained that an investigation revealed the cylinder involved had been welded and modified contrary to approved safety standards for CNG. In Akwa Ibom State, the government has denied claims that the Dakwada Skills Acquisition Center in Ikot Ada Idem, Ibiono Ibom local government area is not functional, dismissing the speculations as baseless. However, during the medical tour, the senior special assistant to Governor Omo Eno on research and documentation, Essien Ndwese, countered the claims, stressing that the facility is fully operational and making significant strides. Ndwese, who led journalists to inspect the center, explained that the visit was arranged to give the media first-hand knowledge of the center's activities and to dispel any misinformation. During the visit, journalists toured several departments, including ICT, fashion design, catering, shoemaking, fisheries, livestock, poultry, snail farming, furniture, welding, and fabrication. Adding that despite receiving over 2,000 applications, the management opted to begin with 250 trainees to ensure quality and steady growth. In Imo State, the Police Command has commenced an orderly room trial against 4 of its officers caught in a viral video maltreating and extorting money from people on the road. The officers, who had been in detention for some days at the command's headquarters, are identified as Inspector Ibrahim Naina, Inspector Unaka Max Virgin, Inspector Mila Ibinata, and Sergeant Anthony Alozie. The arrest of the officers followed the allegation leveled against them by staff of Young Sea Entertainment, a film production outfit who were in the state for a movie production. A video posted by the victim showed how the police officers manhandled and forced them to give out some dollars found in the bags, which were parts of the items for the shooting. A statement by the Imo State Police Command spokesperson ASP Henry Okoye said the outcome of the orderly room trial will be communicated in due course. In Enugu State, operatives of the Zonal Command of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have apprehended 36 individuals suspected of internet fraud in various locations across Onitsha and Anambra State. The arrest took place following what the EFCC describes as actionable intelligence that linked the suspect to online criminal activities. A statement by the EFCC on the Thursday via X handle, preliminary investigations revealed that the suspects allegedly impersonated foreign nationals on social media platforms to defraud unsuspecting victims, and the operation led to the recovery of valuable items including 8 luxury vehicles as well as sophisticated mobile phones and laptops believed to have been used in the fraudulent activities. Independent National Electoral Commission says the date for the Anambra governorship election has been fixed for Saturday, 8th November 2025. INEC National Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu has disclosed this on Thursday while addressing representatives of political parties at the INEC headquarters in Abuja. Said the Commission has approved that the 2025 Anambra State governorship election, he said, the decision is in compliance with the mandatory requirement of 360 days, while the formal notice for the election will be published on 13th November 2024, and party primaries will be held from 20th March 2025 to 10th April 2025. Inter-Party Advisory Council has urged governments at all levels to improve the people's well-being in tandem with Section 14, subsection 2B of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. IPAC said urgent steps must be taken to ameliorate the hardship that millions of Nigerians face daily, adding that the development will spur the political parties of the citizens to give more credence to the electoral process. The council spoke through National Chairman Yusuf Maman Dantele at the INEC 4th quarterly consultative meeting with leaders of political parties in Abuja, adding that after 25 years of unbroken democracy, the state of the nation is sore, while the rising cost of living and political tension have dampened citizens' morale in the electoral process, resulting in low voter turnout in elections. Council urges stakeholders in the electoral process to join in voter education, sensitization and mobilization to ensure a free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive and peaceful election that will meet international standards. IPAC urged political parties and their candidates to imbibe issue-based campaigns and ensure politics of bitterness, and also called on the Commission to put its act together, provide adequate electoral materials and test run its beavers and IREF portals to avoid undue technical hitches and glitches that will cast doubt on the integrity of the election. Conference of Nigerian Political Parties has threatened to boycott the forthcoming local government election slated for October 19, 2024 in Kogi State. The Kogi State chairman of CNPP, Comrade Mohammed Kabri Abdullahi, who disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, said the group has passed a vote of no confidence on the Kogi State Independent Electoral Commission, insisting that the electoral body had failed to carry relevant stakeholders along prior to the council polls. The CNPP chairman averred that the preparation for the forthcoming election lacked transparency in the whole process. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has begun the demolition of 50 duplexes and bungalows illegally erected in Sabon Lube, Abuja. Mokhtar Galadima, the Director, Department of Development Control, who led the exercise on Thursday, explained that the structures were illegally erected by land grabbers without the approval of appropriate authorities. Galadima explained that the southwest area of Sabon Lube was part of Phase 5 district of the Federal Capital City, and the department had warned that it would bounce on land grabbers in the area and advised people against buying any property without due diligence to ensure its legality. Galadima said the demolition was part of the department's enforcement, beginning with 10 buildings, and also identified areas where land grabbers were operating as Idu train station, now part of Gosa and Kiami, Apo, Tafi area and Lube. The director warned that the illegal development would not be condoned in the capital city, saying that land grabbers were deceiving innocent residents that the areas would be integrated into Phase 5 of the FCC. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has joined an Abuja Investment Company Limited on its first Abuja Business and Investment Summit in showcasing the investment opportunities in the FCT, while calling on investors to explore countless possibilities in various sectors. The Minister of the FCT, Barrister Nyesom Wike, who was the chief host of the event, declared FCT open for investments on real estate, agriculture, tourism, mining, renewable energy, and construction sectors.
Abuja Investment Company Limited. Permit me to begin by welcoming all of you to Abuja who have traveled across our beautiful country and beyond to attend this auspicious event. I'm aware that Abuja Business and Investment Summit is designed to showcase to our stakeholders and potential investors in Nigeria and worldwide the investment opportunities for business and innovation. As we navigate the complexities of today's economic landscape, it is essential to recognize that the power of collaboration can significantly enhance our investment strategies. By forging strong partnerships, we not only pool resources, but also leverage diverse expertise and insights that drive innovation and efficiency.
The minister also disclosed plans to commence 9 major infrastructure projects in the FCT, saying the provision of road infrastructure and transportation networks have also been prioritized to ensure
our processes to make it easier for investors to set up and operate. The Abuja Investment Company Limited and the Abuja Enterprise Agency have facilitated partnerships and supported investors, ensuring you receive the necessary guidance at every step of the investment journey. Besides infrastructure security, we also focus on fostering innovation and entrepreneurship. We have launched several initiatives to empower small and medium-sized enterprises, which are the backbone of our economy. By providing access to funding, training, and resources, we aim to cultivate a robust ecosystem that encourages innovation and drives economic growth. I invite you to explore the myriad investment opportunities in the FCT. Whether you are interested in real estate development, technology incubation, or agribusiness, there's a place for you in Abuja. As I wait the outcome of this summit, please let us work together to create value, generate jobs, and drive economic growth in the FCT. In line with Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda.
In his keynote address at the summit, the Executive Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, commended the FCT administration for organizing the investment initiative, urging that Nigeria needs to intentionally nurture domestic capital and promote international champions who would drive sustainable economic, while the GMD AICL Ambassador Maureen Tamuno states the aims of the summit.
Well, this summit is aimed at promoting investment opportunities in FCT, as well as creating a platform for networking among investors from within Nigeria and beyond. I am confident that our crop of carefully selected and notable panelists would provide insightful and thought-provoking ideas that will break new grounds for economic prosperity for our esteemed company and participating investors. In addition, I believe the discussions at this event would inspire us to think bigger, to push the boundaries of what's possible in business and investments.
It's a good thing for me as a member of House of Rep to be here today. And I must say that the partnership with the Minister for Nigeria and the Abuja investment is really doing very well for Nigeria. As a member, as a deputy for the Committee on Ecology, and as a member of Committee on Renewable Energy, we've had reason to come to the Abuja Investment Company to actually do quite a lot, especially in this time of climate change, where things are changing, and we're looking at the future of work in the world so that we can help our youth in the new direction where the world is going. And with our relationship, I can say, and I'm bold to say, that the Commission, the investment company, they're going in the right direction.
All Progressives Congress says it will boycott the local government's rerun elections in Plateau State scheduled for 19th October 2024. The party made this known on Thursday in a statement signed by its State Publicity Secretary Shitu Bamiyi that the party had directed its supporters to distance themselves from the rerun elections. The party therefore urged its councillorship candidates and supporters in the affected electoral wards where the rerun is expected to take place to disregard all election directives and commended the people of the state, particularly its team supporters, for clearly showing the PDP-led government how had no political direction, while the APC appeals for calm and peace in the face of provocation. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has called on the President Bola Tinubu-led federal government to review its current monetary and fiscal policies, stating that they are not working effectively. The governor made this call at the launch of the Nigeria Development Update in Abuja and urged the government to avoid being dogmatic in its approach and stressed the urgent need for change due to the growing hardship in the country. He highlighted the plight of ordinary Nigerians, warning that hunger and economic hardship have created a volatile situation, and also called on the federal government to develop more effective economic policies, stressing that the funds currently being received are insufficient to address the widespread hunger. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, has sent condolences to families of the tragic tanker explosion incident in Taura local government area, Jigawa State. He extended his deepest condolences to the government and the people of the state following the fire explosion from a fuel tanker, which claimed over 140 lives, and also expressed his deepest condolences over the tragic incident. The APC National Chairman expressed his grief while extending his condolences to the victims, their families, and the entire people of Jigawa State, adding that the APC stands united with the government and people of Jigawa State during the challenging period, while offering unwavering support. Away from that, Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau says he has commenced an investigation into the petrol tanker explosion in Jigawa State, which claimed over 140 lives and left many severely injured. A statement signed by the Director of Public Affairs and Family Assistance, Mrs. Bimbo Adedeji, said death toll of the petrol tanker explosion on Wednesday rose to 147. The chairman of Taura local government area, Shaibu Hambali, who had confirmed the latest casualty figure, said mass burial had been held for the 147 victims who died while scooping fuel from the tanker wreckage, while other victims were rushed to the Federal Medical Center in Benin in Berlin could do when there was no more bed space at the hospital. The Bureau in its statement said the petrol tanker en route from Kano to Nguru in Yobe State lost control and crashed and spilled its contents, adding that the incident led to the loss of lives as a result of residents attempting to scoop the fuel from the tanker before it exploded, resulting in a massive fire that pushed many into their early graves. Quoting the NSIB Director General Captain Alex Bade, Olajide said, in line with the mandates to investigate accidents across all transportation sectors, the NSIB has deployed a GOAT team of experts to investigate the accident, and the team will assess the circumstances surrounding the crash as well as the explosion to identify causal factors and provide safety recommendations aimed at preventing future occurrences. Analysts has expressed dissatisfaction with activities of some tanker drivers who act under the influence of hard drugs. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowouts, public affairs commentator Mufasa Eyimosan said most tanker drivers are not usually with their right frame of mind due to substances they consumed and therefore need proper orientation.
They are not regularly on their right frame of mind. Some of them are under the influence of substances. It could be alcohol, it could be some other funny substances that takes away their consciousness, and to a large extent they become a danger to themselves and other road users. And I think that would further solicit for proper orientation and education, as the case may be. I think most of these truck drivers, the only thing they know how to do is just to drive the trucks, and they don't understand that your psyche is also another aspect of driving. Generally, and much more a truck that carries a highly inflammable material and content, which means they are, in their own case, they have to be more careful on the road. So what is the level of enlightenment, orientation, does most of these truck drivers?
On his part, Ambassador Ekiesi said scooping fuel from a falling tanker is an act of criminality that must be stopped.
If you want to be your brother's keeper, you want to risk your life because you want to protect what belongs to your neighbor or to your brother. If you die in that cause, it can be said, oh, this man, these people were very nice people. They died in trying to save and protect what belongs to their fellow Nigerians. But in this case, the scooping is to siphon and collect products that do not belong to you. It's condemnable. It's not only in Jigawa, like you said. In Rivers State, it has happened. In several states, it keeps happening. When a truck will turn, and then the next mindset of the villagers, the people around there is, hey, we have seen maybe the other is the Lord's blessing. God has favored us, so favor you with another man's product. So I want to think that it's not a question of awareness. They are aware that this thing can lead to the untimely.
This comes after the death toll from the tanker explosion in Jigawa, Majia local government area, where over 153 persons died and over 100 people hospitalized. You're watching the Global News in Atlantic Television Network. We will be back after this break.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. the Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors, and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. This is the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now to the rest of our stories. Senators have unanimously passed a vote of confidence on the leadership of the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The assurances of loyalty to the leadership of Akpabio by senators followed social media reports that some aggrieved senators from the North plan to impeach the Senate President. Raising a point of order on the floor of Thursday's plenary, a former leader of the Senate, Yahaya Abdullahi, drew the attention of his colleagues to a publication which claimed that northern senators were behind the impeachment plot against Akpabio. The senator claimed that such an allegation was a breach of his constitutional rights as a citizen and lawmaker representing KB North. He said the allegation that northern senators were plotting Akpabio's removal has put a dent on his reputation and integrity. He noted that he has never conceived such ideas, adding that he has consulted his colleagues from the north and they expressed shock and disbelief that such happened.
And is undermining the capacity of this institution to deliver in the process of governance of this country. Therefore, we must rise united under your leadership to make sure that this kind of discord is frowned upon, is completely negated, so that the kind of unity that we have forged in the last 18 months can be sustained and put on proper foundation. Therefore, Mr. President, I rise with due sense of your personal heart, and I'm sure a lot of my colleagues also feel the same. For us to be characterized, I feel hard for me to be characterized as another senator, as either belonging or supporting or conniving with anybody to bring the leadership of this institution down. Mr. President, I thank you for giving me this privilege. I also thank members of the Senate. I have never in my life been in a process where I stand to divide this nation or to associate in order to bring or to divide the nation across ethnic and regional.
So well, in spite of everything, people could see that we have been able to relate with you, particularly you and the Deputy Senate President, in the course of this, our legitimate assignment as representatives of the people. So I've seen no reason why such rumors should emanate. Here's that question. So I move that on behalf of Northern Senators, that will vote a vote of confidence in your leadership, that of the Deputy Senate President, and the entire Senate leadership, as we resolve to move as one people.
In his remarks, Senator Akpabio expressed gratitude for the support from his colleagues and assured them of his intention to provide good leadership.
Let me thank my distinguished senators on behalf of my brothers, the Deputy Senate President and the leadership, and I assure you that the comradeship and the bond existing between us in the 10th Senate will continue. No amount of rumor, no social media, will come here to break that bond. I thank you for this, and we are very humbled. The confidence is not misplaced. We will do our best in the coming months and in the coming years to justify the confidence that you have placed in us.
Away from that, bill seeking the creation of Ogoja State has scaled second reading in the House of Representatives on Thursday. The bill, sponsored by Godwin Ofiono and 3 others during plenary, and the Constitution Alteration Bill seek to amend the 1999 Constitution to create an additional state in the South-South region. Moving the motion, Mr. Ofiono said the essence of the bill is rested on the equity, and if the bill is passed into law, it would bring the number of states in the South-South region to 7. The bill scaled second reading without any opposition from members and was referred to the House Committee on Constitution Review. House of Representatives has called for the review of the budgetary allocation of the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, to ensure, among other things, proper oversight over 800 ministries, departments and agencies, implementation of established procurement policies and due process compliance. This is sequel to a motion of urgent public importance moved on the floor of the House by Honorable Uyeme Idem that the review aims to also ensure effective monitoring and surveillance of federal government procurement and ongoing projects across the 6 geopolitical zones, which has proven to be difficult with the 2,200 million naira budgetary allocation for the Bureau in the Appropriation Act 2024. The lawmaker said the existing funds provided for the Bureau is grossly inadequate to meet the extensive responsibilities of the procurement audits, and that given the prevailing trend of procurement corruption in Nigeria, constituting over 70% of corruption in the public sector, adding that there is an increasing need to ensure the implementation of procurement policies and due process compliance in line with global best practices.
That the Bureau is empowered to, among other things, oversight over 800 ministries, departments and agencies, MDS, to ensure the implementation of established procurement policies and due process compliance. Recognizes the need to ensure monitoring and surveillance of federal government procurement procedures and ongoing projects across the 6 geopolitical zones. Aware that the budget allocation for the Bureau in the Appropriation Act 2024 is only 2 billion naira, 2.2 billion naira. Concerned that the existing funds provided for the Bureau is grossly inadequate to meet the extensive responsibility of the procurement audits, monitoring and surveillance in the ministry, departments and agencies, MDS, in the 6 geopolitical zones of the nation. Also concerned that given the prevailing trend of procurement corruption in Nigeria, constituting over 70% of corruption in the public procurement sector, there is an increasing need to ensure the implementation of procurement policies and due process compliance in line with global best practices. Cognizant that the increasing rates of procurement corruption in the public sector necessitates urgent measures for effective oversight to ensure value for money, transparency, competitiveness, and professionalism.
The House urged the federal government through the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning to review the budgetary allocation of the Bureau of Public Procurement in line with current realities and subsequent budget estimates to enable successful discharge of the Bureau's core mandate. The Green Chamber also urged the Bureau of Public Procurement to collaborate with relevant stakeholders, including ministries, departments and agencies, civil society organizations and the National Assembly, to enhance the provision of a legal and institutional framework and professional capacity for public procurement in Nigeria for the holistic development of a beloved country. In a related development, the House of Representatives has called for the beefing up of security in some communities in Obi, Oju and Kashisha local government areas of Benue State, following a motion by the Honorable David Agada, Benue, calling for intervention on the land dispute in these communities.
This has continued unabatedly
attacking on those both side community on several occasions. This age-long crisis is as a result of the inaction of the relevant federal and state agencies to adopt and enforce the existing boundary demarcation survey/document with file number Otupo sheet 270XE as conducted by the Savior General of the Federation and domiciled with the Kaduna office of the National Boundary Commission. Worried that sometime in August as well, a truck of fertilizer meant for the constituency Ojuobi was also blocked and sneakily seized by the Bonta militia. As a matter of fact, the Oju Awaji Road connecting Constitution and Oju local government area of Benue State is at the moment impassable and impervious due to the garrison of Bonta militia. Also, this crisis and insecurity bordered on land dispute, which has to do with the boundary demarcation, and that if the relevant authority concerning the boundary demarcation do not take frantic effort, and how these disputed areas boundary demarcated in line with the existing order and laws, the recurring clashes between these communities will continue unabated and lead to further loss of lives and properties. Recall that some time ago, these same militias at Bonta killed about 12 soldiers. This need not to be handled with kid gloves anymore for the sake of the two affected communities in the two various local governments.
The House, while mandating the National Boundary Commission in conjunction with the relevant agencies in Benue State to resolve the incessant crisis with finality by demarcating the boundaries between the communities in line with the original boundaries demarcated and survey documents domiciled with Kaduna office of the National Boundary Commission as conducted by Surveyor General of Federation, also urged the National Emergency Management Agency to send relief materials to communities which were also affected by flood to cushion the effect of the disaster. National Security Advisor Malam Nuhu Ribadu says a significant number of illicit weapons currently in circulation in Nigeria originally belonged to the federal government. Ribadu also disclosed this during the arms destruction exercise conducted by the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons at the Muhammadu Buhari Cantonment in Abuja. Said the weapons ended up in the hands of non-state actors due to corrupt elements within the security agencies. The NSA condemned the security personnel who facilitated the distribution of weapons to terrorists, bandits and other non-state actors and assured that the government will do everything possible to ensure the country's security. In a fight against corruption and promotion of good governance in Nigeria, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center and other civil society organizations have condemned the recent attempts of undermining the efforts of Nigerian anti-corruption agencies and challenging the autonomy of local governments by assisting governors. While briefing newsmen in Abuja, the Executive Director of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, Aula Musa Rufazjani, who gave vivid details of the suit's fight 16 governors, said the implication of the suit is to legitimize corruption and looting of public funds.
The issues are the suit reportedly filed by 16 Nigerian governors at the Supreme Court seeking, among others, to declare EFCC and NFIU as illegal bodies and unconstitutional. They are legally assigned acts at the national levels, not only undermines the efforts in the fight against corruption, but also send a dangerous signal that accountability and transparency can be subverted for political expediency. More solemnly, the consolidated suit, which has now been scheduled for hearing on October 22nd, 2024, pleads for a declaration that the federal government of Nigeria, through the EFCC, NFIU, or any other agency, lacks the power to issue any directive, guidelines, advisory, or any instrument, however, call for administration and management of funds belonging to the state. The implication of this action the action of these 16 governors and their silent collaborators, because even the other governors have not come out openly to say that we disassociated ourselves with these 16 governors, so which means that they are doing solidarity. And if they are not doing solidarity, we challenge them, let them come out to disassociate themselves from these 16 governors that are trying to make or legitimize looting, corruption, and all sorts of irresponsible behavior, financial recklessness in their state. Because that's the implication, that's the interpretation of what they seek to do. And the question is that on whose mandate? Who gave them that mandate? None of the state conducted any public hearing or public consultation before they go into court. Who told them that they have that right under democracy for fundamental issue like this? The issues are the
The group called on the federal government and National Assembly to institute and enforce appropriate sanctions against any government officials at the state level who continue to flout the financial autonomy of the local government, promising to stand firm by anti-corruption agencies' efforts of combating corruption in Nigeria.
And so we call on the federal government, the National Assembly, and other relevant anti-corruption agencies to institute and enforce appropriate sanctions against any government official at the state level who continues to flout financial autonomy of local governments. In the same vein, we also call for increased oversight by the Financial Intelligence Unit to continue its oversight of the funds that are appropriated and deployed to local governments to ensure strict adherence to the ruling of the Supreme Court. Similarly, we also call, for enhanced public accountability, that the monies that go to local governments are monies for the Nigerian people who are the local governments. And that money is your money, and you should have interest in following the money and ensuring that whatever the money is appropriated for is used to address the social conditions of people at the local government level that is poor at this point.
We therefore stand firm in our commitment to support the EFCC, the ICPC, NFIU, and other anti-corruption agencies in all their efforts in promoting accountability, transparency, and justice in Nigeria. We reject any attempt to undermine the integrity of Nigeria anti-corruption framework and call on all Nigeria to join us in defending the existing and effectiveness of all our anti-corruption agencies. The financial autonomy of our local government councils is non-negotiable. It is a constitutional provision that must be respected by all tiers of government. We stand united in condemning any action by state governors that undermines this autonomy and call for strict adherence to the rule of law.
Legal advisor of the South-South Zone of the All Progressives Congress, Chukwuemeka Obubodo, and other zonal officers have berated the suspension of the Minister of State on Petroleum, Heineken Lopobiri, by the party's executive in his local government in Bayelsa State. In a statement, Obobodo said the South Zonal officers of the ruling party rejected the purported suspension of the minister, describing the action as illegal, null and void, contending that the local government area executive cannot be judged in its matter. He also warned the local council executive that they are not above the law and APC is not a party for supermen but a party guided by rules of law. This is coming after the APC in Southern Ijo and Ekeremo local government areas in separate press briefings had last week purportedly suspended Opobiri and the 2019 gubernatorial candidate of the party in Bayelsa State, David Leon. But Opobodo warned the persons behind the purported suspensions to be mindful that the entire executives in the state were invalidated by the decision of the Bayelsa State High Court. High Court of the Federal Capital Territory sitting at Maitama has shifted for further hearing in the leadership crisis rocking the staff multipurpose cooperative society of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company till November 8th. Justice Charles Obaza said that the court would, on the next date, equally hear a motion that 15 staff members of the NNPCL, who are defendants in the matter, filed to disqualify him from presiding over the case, adding that the defendants, through their team of lawyers, led by Ibrahim Idris' son, is asking the judge to recuse himself, insisting they were not comfortable in his ability to resolve the leadership disputes objectively. They alleged that some of the interim orders the judge made in the matter reflected his bias against them, while the defendants in the motion they predicated their motion on Section 36, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, noted that the court had on October 3rd, while there was a contention between two lawyers over who was validly briefed to represent the cooperative society, 16 defendants, ordered one Mr. Lekan Obundayo to appear to clarify who he had instructed as the president of the management committee of the cooperative to defend in the matter. Justice Abaza, who acknowledged receipt of the motion, adjourned to hear all the pending applications in the matter, and the suit was brought before the court by 4 aggrieved members of the cooperative, Eze Owuneme, Chamberlain Ajaba, Alhaji Ibrahim Yakubu and Bello Mohammed Garba. Earlier in the proceeding on Thursday, counsel for the plaintiffs, Mr. George Ibrahim San, indicated his readiness to withdraw a contempt charge his clients initiated against the director in charge of Human Resources Department of the NNPCL, Mrs. Fatima Yakubu, over an allegation that she flaunted the interim orders of the court with respect to the matter. Federal government has taken delivery of 1 million doses of the R21 Matrix M malaria vaccine donated by Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. The handover ceremony took place in Abuja. This is coming after the World Health Organization had in December 2023 said the R21 Matrix M malaria vaccine is for pre-qualified vaccines, while in October 2023, World Health Organization recommended its use for the prevention of malaria in children following the advice of the World Health Organization Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization and the Malaria Policy Advisory Group. The pre-qualification means larger access to vaccines as key tool to prevent malaria in children, with it being a prerequisite for vaccine procurement by UNICEF and funding support for deployment by Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Speaking during the handover ceremony in Abuja, the Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer of the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Muyi Aina, said the arrival of the R21 Matrix M malaria vaccine from Gavi is a testament to President Bola Tinubu's commitment to protecting the lives of Nigerians. Aina said Nigeria is among the top 10 contributors to the global burden of Nigeria, accounting for approximately 27% of the global burden and 31% of malaria deaths worldwide, while in 2022, nearly 200,000 deaths from malaria occurred in Nigeria. Children under 5 years of age and pregnant women are the most affected, with a national malaria prevalence rate of 22% in children aged 6 to 59 months as of 2021. Business news. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, has underscored the crucial role of the private sector in advancing agricultural development in Nigeria. He made the statement at the Stanbic IBTC Breakfast Summit held in Abuja and highlighted the importance of the summit themed Driving Economic Transformation through Agro-Processing, Building a Sustainable Future, stressing that the theme aligns with President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency on food security, and the Renewed Hope agenda, which is aimed at promoting an agricultural revolution. He called for increased collaboration between the private and public sectors, urging stakeholders to leverage appropriate technology and innovation in agro-processing to enhance the value addition to agricultural produce, and outlined the government's commitment to fostering a vibrant agri-business sector. Kyari also stressed the importance of the private sector taking a leading role in agriculture, stating the current agricultural policy is for the private sector to be in diverse seats, while the government provides an enabling environment, and encourage stakeholders to work towards increasing value addition in agriculture and reducing post-harvest losses in order to achieve food security and wealth creation. The summit provided a crucial platform for stakeholders to engage in discussions on improving Nigeria's agricultural landscape through private sector-led initiatives, with the ultimate aim of developing a more robust and sustainable agribusiness economy. Federal government has disclosed plans to crystallize 1.1 billion naira private sector funding as a co-financing requirement in the power sector. The Managing Director, Rural Electrification Agency, Abba Aliyu, who disclosed these at the ongoing Nigeria Energy Summit held in Lagos with the theme Breaking Barriers to the New Energy Era, Clean, Reliable and Sustainable, which was organized by Inform Markets, decried the rate of challenges plaguing the power sector. The REA boss asserted that exploring other sources of power generation was critical, stressing that solar is now easy to deploy with the economic viability of solar, while 1.5 million Nigerians grew interconnected mini-grids to enhance electricity reliability. The REA boss called for an improvement in the commercial viability of the players, adding that the private sectors must improve their financial viability, while the co-founder, Lihon Energy, Hakim Desiu, applauded the Nigerian energy transition, stating that it is the most advanced compared to other African nations because the opportunities to go through some of the energy transactions plans. Earlier in his opening remarks, the Exhibition Director, Energy Portfolio, MEA, Informal Markets, Ade Yusuf, said the African region is increasingly becoming a supply house for global economic growth, which is driven by its rich natural resources and the growing appetite for innovation and investments. Federal government of Nigeria, in collaboration with the International Fund for Agricultural Development, has recently highlighted the urgent need to invest in this demographic at the 2024 International Day of Rural Women Summit. IFAD Value Chain Development Program Knowledge Management and Communications Coordinator, Mrs. Vera Onyeka Onyilo, who disclosed this in a statement, said on October 15th at the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, brought together key stakeholders focused on empowering women in agriculture. A panelist from the FGN IFAD Assisted Value Chain Development Program, Mrs. Patricia Achi, stressed the importance of educational initiatives, adding that the women are now empowered to manage their farming activities as businesses, while enforcing the idea that education and technology access are critical. Similarly, a beneficiary of the IFAD Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises Niger Delta program, Mrs. Timilade Ebiwari, shared her success in aquaculture, while the country director of IFAD Nigeria, Mrs. Dede Ekuo, highlighted the organization's effort to support smallholders, particularly rural women, in increasing their incomes and market access. She added that the girls' methodology has empowered women to have a voice in their households and communities, and underlined the vital roles of women in Africa's agricultural landscape, including limited access to education, productive resources, and political representation. Federal government, in collaboration with global cybersecurity company Cisco, is set to establish a cutting-edge cybersecurity and broadband laboratory in a move to strengthen the nation's digital infrastructure. Minister of Communications and Digital Economy Bosu Tajini on X, formerly Twitter, followed an inspection tour on the proposed facility, adding that the government and Cisco have been in talks on how to effect the initiative, which will focus on enhancing cybersecurity capabilities and expanding broadband infrastructure as part of Nigeria's broader push to improve its digital economy. The minister said Cisco had committed significant resources towards the project, working in close partnership with the ministry, adding that the partnership with Cisco is part of Nigeria's national digital economy policy and strategy, which seeks to position the country as a leader in Africa's digital economy by enhancing digital skills infrastructure, and cybersecurity resilience. You are still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next, international tidbits. Britain says its largest sanctions to date against Russia's shadow fleet of tankers was used to circumvent a Western embargo on oil exports following its invasion of Ukraine. The government's latest crackdown bars 18 ships from UK ports and from accessing British maritime services, bringing the total number of sanctioned vehicles to 43. Experts say the so-called ghost fleet, which operates under opaque ownership or without proper insurance, has allowed the Kremlin to continue exporting oil despite sanctions and a price cap on its global sales, adding that Shadow Fleet has also been accused by the UK of posing a threat to the environment and coastlines due to its flagrant violations of basic safety standards. The UK Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office said the sanctions are starving Putin's war machine of crucial revenues, adding that Western sanctions, 70% of Russian oil exports by sea are conducted using ghost tankers. Britain's foreign ministry also announced sanctions against 4 LNG tankers and the Russian gas company Brigabosia JSC. Here now is ATN Sports News. Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, has congratulated Nigerians on the 17 women's national football team, the Flamingos, for their 4-1 victory over New Zealand in the opening match of the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup. A statement following the match on Wednesday night, Eno praised the team for their outstanding performance and also commended the efforts of the coaching staff and the Nigerian Football Federation in developing women's football in the country. The Flamingos took the lead after 2 minutes at the CFC Stadium in Santiago de Luis Calabres and later extended the margin to 3-0 within half an hour. And now entertainment news. American rapper Becaliz Melanis Amaza, aka Cardi B, has vowed to quit alcohol consumption. The nursing mother promised to stop drinking alcohol after celebrating her 32nd birthday with an epic party in New York City recently. This is coming after Cardi B welcomed her 3rd child with Offset last month, despite confirming separation from the Migos star in December 23 and filing for divorce. Her ex-husband alleged that she had sex with another man while pregnant with their 3rd child, and Cardi B is here to officially address the allegations. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. We told you of the 2024 budget is invalid. Analysts, CNG car explosion injures 3 persons. Rep calls for a review of budgetary allocation. We also told you FG partners Cisco on digital security. UK probes Russian shadow fleet. Sports Minister hails Flamingo. Finally, we told you Cardi B quits alcohol. I am Wendy Aguma. Thank you for watching and good evening.